Hello, welcome to a reading vlog. This is a different reading vlog. I'm going to be starting a bit of an author taste test style vlog. This is one I've been very much excited about because everyone loves it. Earlier in the year, I read my first small town romance, and that was The Confidence of Wildflowers by Macaulay Smeltzer. And because I fell into that rabbit hole and I loved it, I was like, okay, what other small town romances are there? So two of those authors that I see mostly are Devney Perry and Corinne Michaels. So this video is going to be reading Devney Perry. I'm going to be reading 4 of her books. I'll be reading the Mason Jar series because it's like just a 2-book duet and I smashed it out. I'm going to read the Coppersmith Farm. I can't remember what series that falls under, but I'll be reading that. And then I'll be reading Indigo Ridge, which is part of the Eden series. So the Eden series is the current series she's coming out with. So I'm going to read the first one and then I'll probably continue reading the rest of the series because the 4th book is coming out, I think, in February. So I want to have them read by February, I think. I think it's like sometime in Feb. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll insert it. So we're going to be doing that. I'm probably going to start with the Mason Jar series. And then, yeah, that'll be my plan for today. And yeah, super excited. I hope I love it. I think I will. See if I like small town romance more than just Macaulay Smeltzer. So stick around. And yeah, I can't remember what the first one is exactly. Let's find out because I've already downloaded them to my Kindle. So the first one is the birthday list. So I'm going to be reading that first. I don't think they're connected. I'm unsure, but we will learn as we go along. This is the way a lot of my vlogs go. I don't remember because I think it's been on my TBR for so long that I just can't remember exactly what's going on. But we're starting with the birthday list. So let's skip to that reading portion. I'm 40 pages into the birthday list. So it is, how do I talk about this? So Poppy is married to a guy named Jamie who dies, and their last name is Mason, hence Mason, Mason Jar. She then opens a restaurant that she calls the Mason Jar. So that's why the series is called Mason Jar. It's set in small town Montana, and Jamie leaves like a birthday bucket list, and she's working through that bucket list. And during that process of opening the restaurant and doing the bucket list, she runs into someone from her past. And they meet pretty quickly. I'm not going to tell you who it is. It happens like straight away pretty much. And the tension. He is obsessed with her and in love with her. This book is so funny, so sad already, and just so beautiful. Like Devney Perry, oh my God, I was not expecting to love this so much. I love it. I love it. There is it's just tension, the angst, so good. So that is all I'm going to say for now in terms of that kind of thing. And it's also connected to the next book. So the next book is called Letters to Molly, and Molly and Finn divorce, and after 6 years of being divorced, she starts receiving these letters that he wrote to her while they were still together. And Finn is Poppy's brother from Birthday List, and Molly is her sister-in-law, and Molly works in the restaurant with Poppy. So yeah, that's how the 2 books are connected. And yeah, I'm going to devour this today. I'm going to finish this today because, oh my God, it is so good. I'm so in love with this book. It is fantastic. I'm starving, so I am going to go eat lunch. But yeah, this is good. I've been reading bangers after bangers. I know my taste so well. And sometimes people's recommendations can really pull through. So I love this. I absolutely love this. Okay, so I'm 50% of the way through the birthday list. I have to compose myself because I love this so much. This is so funny, so wholesome, so sad, so smutty at the same time. There's been no sex. There hasn't even been a kiss yet. And it's oozing sexual tension. It's not even funny. I think this is going to be a top book of the year. Top 10. I'm almost positive. This is going to be a 5-star. I don't know how this couldn't be a 5-star at this point. I have to compose myself because I love this so much. The main love interest He is utter perfection. And yeah, she's now sort of like, so he's like fallen first, like 100%. So like I would say the tropes is like second chance at love, guy falls first, that kind of vibe. And he definitely falls first, like he's in love with her, but she's now sort of like dealing with her feelings towards him and sort of trying to like reconcile having feelings for this man as well, like still trying to like honor her husband's memory. They were only married for a year. I can't even explain to you how good this is. I wish I'd have picked up Devney Perry sooner, but okay, so it is the next day and I finished The Birthday List by Devney Perry and I absolutely loved every minute of it. So I don't want, like, these are spoiler free, so I'm just not gonna divulge too much information, but there is some like twisty turns and stuff that happens, like information that comes out about the death of Jamie and everything surrounding that. And it was like, it had my jaw on the friggin' floor. And like when we find out what happened to Jamie, like my jaw was on the freaking floor. But it was such a good book. And like there was no, I wouldn't say that it was any like major conflict, like there was no third act conflict. There was like a little bit of conflict, but it was like resolved within a chapter. Anytime there was like no third act conflict, I love the book. I love it because it's just like sometimes so unnecessary. I just want people to be happy. So I'm giving The Birthday List a 5-star. It is definitely going to be one of my favorites for the year. It was pure perfection in a book. Pure perfection. So I am going to be starting Letters to Molly now. Okay, so I'm still in the same spot as before, but I am 18% into Letters to Molly. So I'm on chapter 4. So there's no letters been received just yet, but it is 6 years on from like the end of the previous book. So, or 5, no, it's like 5 years on from the end of pre-epilogue of The Birthday List. So like, I think it's like a couple years on from the epilogue of The Birthday List. Molly is now struggling with like being a single mum and like now not being a cool mum anymore. And she goes like, at the start, she like straight away goes and buys like she's buying a new car. So now she's cool. And yeah, like she's struggling to deal with the fact that her ex-husband's dating. Yeah, that's really, not much has happened. Like 3 chapters in, we got like a little, we've seen one letter, but it hasn't been like, sorry, she's received one letter. I actually lied before. She has received one letter and she thinks that her ex-husband put it in her mailbox and she doesn't ask him about it at this point. So yeah. And we got a flashback of like when the first night that they met, and the tension and the connection was like immediately there, like love at first sight. So don't know if I'm gonna love this as much. We will see. But I'm now gonna keep reading, and that's all I have to say. I am 43% into Letters to Molly. I'm up to chapter 10. So obviously we know Molly's receiving these letters from that like Finn wrote ages ago, and they don't know who's sending them. So it's not Molly that's sending them, and it's obvious, and like Finn has said it's not him. So my current theory is that either their daughter is sending them or Finn's employee. I don't know. Could be completely wrong, but that's my guess at the moment. Not feeling the same feels as I did with The Birthday List. Like this is a solid 3 to 4 stars, but we'll see how this goes. It's entertaining for sure. I just don't like connect with the story. Like it's second chance romance, and I don't connect with it as much. And like it's very like Molly was very traditional at the start, and like that's just not my vibe. So yeah, let's see how we go. A few days later, Friday, I left really, really early and I finished Letters to Molly really, really late. So I loved it. I enjoyed it. Well, actually, I probably shouldn't say I loved it because I gave it a 3 stars. It was okay. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the outcome. Was it my favorite storyline? No. But some people might really connect with it. It's like a second chance romance. Yeah, I thought it was it was a little bit different to what I expected. But was it a good book? Definitely. Was it well written? Definitely. So I like it. Would I reread it? Probably not. I much prefer The Birthday List, but that is that. I am going to start Coppersmith Farm right now. I am 48 pages into Coppersmith Farmhouse and 15, which is 15% in. So the FMC gets gifted a like house near Montana, near like Yellowstone, in Montana near Yellowstone. And there was someone named Rick that was looking after it. She was a run-in with the sheriff in town, and it's like an enemies to lovers story. And the male main character, I'm not going to tell you who it is. Well, I mean, you can assume who it is. But the male main character has already given her a nickname because he's trying to make up for the fact that he was so mean to her. So good. Very much similar feeling to like Letters to Molly. Not Letters to Molly. The birthday list in terms of like the cop vibe. But love it. Very keen to see how this goes. Chapter 9, 33% into it. So the main character, Georgia, is also a single mum. I don't think I said that. But she gets bitten by a rattlesnake in a barn. And the main character looks after her. I love that trope, like when he's looking after the girl. But her reactions about the rattlesnake is the funniest thing ever. Like, she's like, I'm going to burn down the barn. Like, throw out the shovel that it gets killed with. And, like, she said if the main character, like, throws the snake in the bin, she's never going back to that bin ever again. She's like, he has to throw out the bin for the rest of his life. So, funny, because that's how I would be. What else? It is very Insta-lovey. I'm definitely enjoying it. There is some suspense. You know, that's just the way Devney Perry writes. But, yeah, very Insta-lovey. Don't know how I feel. I think a lot of people do like this book. Probably not, I don't think it's the best Devney Perry book, but I think I like it more than Letters to Molly. But, yeah, the Insta-lovey part is a little bit taking me out of the story at times. But it's good. Okay, guys, I am like 65% into the Coppersmith Farmhouse, and I'm having a bit of like a skeptic thought moment. I'm kind of feeling like the MMC is a bit of a walking red flag, and the FMC is a bit of a pushover. And yeah, so she has a lot of insecurities and a lot of trauma from previous relationships. And she's like having problems with the way that the MMC is behaving, but she's doing nothing about it. Like, she's not saying anything. She's not telling him off. Like, she is, but I don't think she's communicating it effectively enough. And the MMC is not listening to her when she speaks up. He's just being really overprotective and really, yeah. I don't know. I think this was Devney Perry's first novel. So I think this suffers with a bit of like debut novel problems. I don't know. May still surprise me. I still have like 65% of the way through it. So I'm going to finish this now, and then I will check in with you guys when I am done reading this. Okay, guys, I'm ashamed to say I didn't love this, like, at all. Like, literally at all. It probably had some very funny, cute moments, but I gave this a 2 stars. On reflection, I increased my star rating for Letters to Molly. I gave that a 4 stars. Like, it's so much, it's good. This is a 2 star. The plot was like very, like the mystery plot was very like jumbled, and just sort of kept running in circles, and things kept changing, and you're just like, what? And the main character, like I said, he's a massive walking red flag. Female main character, she's a massive contradiction to herself as well. She's a pushover. She's a contradiction to herself. She yells at him. She yells at him for doing certain things in front of her child. And then she does the same thing. Like, what? Like, at the one moment, she yells at her, the male main character, for buying a child something after she had a tantrum to like bribe her and tell her it's okay. And then she then bought something for her child after she ate 3 pieces of food. I don't know. It definitely suffers like debut novel illness. Yeah. Devney Perry, I still love you. I still have so much faith in you. But this was not it. This was not it. I don't recommend it. If you were like wanting to go back on her backlog and read this series, probably read it. We are back to finish the last book in this little challenge, and that's going to be Indigo Ridge by Devney Perry. This is my most anticipated of the challenge. I'm very excited by this. I'm very intrigued. I think this is going to be really good. I hope that this is as good as everybody says it is. I feel like it will be. So I'm going to start this now. I really know nothing about it other than it's small town. I think she's she's a cop and he's an Eden brother. I think it's about one of the Eden brothers, because the whole series is about the Edens, and the Edens are a family. So I'm pretty sure this is an Eden brother, and she's like the sheriff or a cop. She works in some sort of police force. I'm unsure what she is exactly. Don't know. When I know the tropes, again, when I know the tropes, I'll get back to you guys with an update. But let's get cracking. Okay, I'm on chapter 3, and now I remember the synopsis. So, Winslow is a chief of police. She has like a run-in with someone, like a sexual run-in with a man at a bar, who turns out to be an Eden brother. And then he like hates her immediately, avoids her. So it's like an enemies to lovers. She's a chief of police. Her grandfather is the mayor, and people are like, oh, she got in because she's favoritism, and she's really young as well. So that's what's like the whole small town of Quincy is saying, which is in Montana, as well as like the same as her other books are also in Montana. And then the whole mystery element is that there's another dead body. There's a dead body found on like the Eden's like property. They've just found someone, and there had been another dead body previously. So that's why Winnie and the Eden brother, what's his name again? Griffin. That's why Winnie and Griffin are like running into each other, because she'll be investigating the dead body that was found on their lands. So yeah, there's a whole mystery element. I'm very intrigued. It's going to be a good book, I think. I am 35% into Indigo Ridge. I am on chapter 9. I love this book. It is so good so far. The chemistry between Winnie and Griffin is like elite, and like they keep hooking up and not admitting that they like want to be together and that they are attracted to each other. It's just like fun hook up, but like the vibes are 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. The mystery is great. It's very intriguing. It's very sad. So massive trigger warnings for like death and suicide. So I know that going into it. There has been a birthday list reference, and that's like my favorite book so far. So like this is already going to be just as good as the birthday list, because it mentions birthday list, and because Winnie is the chief of police, Cole was her mentor, and I'm utterly obsessed with this. This is so good. Devney Perry, you're a genius. I'm going to keep reading because it's so good. But yeah. Okay, it is late. I'm never normally standing at my shelves, but it is like almost 9 o'clock, and I wanted to get into bed and finish Indigo Ridge. But I am about 60% of the way through this, and I absolutely love it. The mystery is fantastic. So intriguing. Like I just can't wait to find out what happens next. I love it. I really thoroughly enjoy this. The tension and the spice, so good. And like I'm at the point where finally Griffin is realizing his feelings. Winnie definitely hasn't gotten to that full point yet, and I think that's what I love about Devney Perry's writing as well. The guy always falls first. Guy always falls first. Like so good. And I don't know what else. I love Winnie's relationship with her grandfather. Like it's so sweet. Her story of losing her parents is absolutely tragic. Thinking about how she could have lost, like how that all unfolded, breaks my heart even now, like even after I've read it. So good. And Griffin's mum, 10 out of 10. I love her. She is such a good mum. So sweet to her son. Obsessed with her. She's amazing. I don't really know if I have any other updates without spoiling it. I'm going to leave it there for tonight. I put some stickers on the back of my Kindle, but yeah. I'm going to leave it there for tonight. I'm going to go finish this in bed, and then I'll check in with you guys tomorrow morning when I have finished this book. I sat down yesterday to edit this vlog, and then I realized I never wrapped up my thoughts and feelings about Indigo Ridge. It is raining, so if you can hear the rain, I apologize, but we're making do. So Indigo Ridge, I absolutely adored this book. I wanted it to be a 5 stars, and it came like really close. So I ended up at a 4 stars. Like I just didn't have that like, oh my God, I absolutely love this so much. I loved a lot about it, but it just ultimately wasn't like my favorite book of all time, but loved it. Compared to like the birthday list, it just wasn't the same. But the twist I did not see coming. I feel like I missed the clue at the start. So if you do read this, like pay attention to the prologue. The prologue pretty much gives you the answer, but I was just dumb and didn't really think about it. I just thought, yeah, I'm not going to get into it too much, but yeah, pay attention to the prologue because you'll figure out the twist. But it was a really, really good plot, really good suspense plot. When like the twist happened, I was like on the edge of my seat wanting to know what happened. I loved the ending. I loved the resolution. It was ultimately like an almost perfect book, and I can't remember what happened exactly in the epilogue now. Exact of what happened, but it sets up the next book, and I am super excited for that. I think that's going to be hilarious. It's single mum and one of the other Eden brothers, and I think it's going to be a really good book. I don't think I'm going to get to it before the end of the year, but I think I'm going to get to it early next year because I'm super excited for it. To wrap up, Devney Perry, I love you. This is going to be a good relationship that we have, and I'm going to continue reading her books. I'm definitely going to finish the Eden series first and then probably go back to the Jameson Valley, which is the Coppersmith Farmhouse series. I know I was let down by that book, but I have hope that the rest of the books in the series are better. I'm going to at least give the second book a chance, maybe the third book a chance, and if they don't want me, then I'll probably like table that series and not continue. But I'm going to give at least the second and the third book a chance and then see how we go from there. But I hope you guys enjoyed this taste test. I have plenty more taste tests coming over the next few months. I'm very excited about them. Trying to find some new authors that I like and just like getting into some of the good books that I have been putting off for the last little while. But I think my reading year is going to end on a high, and I think next year my reading year is going to be even better because I've been introduced to so many new authors. But yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.